What if I told you there's a scientifically proven way to make women rate you 221% more attractive without changing a single thing about your appearance, your bank account, or your career? 3 separate university studies have cracked the code on this, and what they discovered will completely change how you think about attraction. In fact, one specific non-physical trait caused women to literally see men as more physically handsome, rating the exact same guy higher on the attractiveness scale. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is something I learned the hard way during the most humiliating night of my life. The guys who got these massive attraction boosts weren't using what most men think works. They weren't being nice guys or trying to impress women with compliments. Before we dive deep into this attraction phenomenon, and I'm going to share the exact moment everything clicked for me, I need to mention something called the Scrambler effect. It's the psychological principle behind why this 221% boost works so powerfully on women's minds. I'll drop a link in the description, and at the end of this video, I'll show you exactly how to use it to transform your dating life forever. But first, let me reveal what these studies actually discovered. The first study took place in a bar, and what happened there mirrors my own devastating wake-up call. Picture this. Researchers had men tell jokes to their friends while women listened nearby. Then these men approached women with a simple request for their phone number. The results? When women overheard the humor, 26.7% gave their numbers. Without humor? Only 8.3%. That's a 221% improvement from one simple change. But here's the psychological goldmine most men miss. Women didn't just respond better. They actually rated these men as 16.2% more physically attractive. Same face, same body, higher attractiveness rating. How is this possible? This discovery hit me like a freight train because just 2 years ago, I was the guy getting those brutal 8.3% results. I was doing everything wrong, and one particular night at a local sports bar taught me exactly why. I'll never forget standing at that bar, watching this average-looking guy, honestly, less conventionally attractive than me, absolutely captivating a group of women. They were hanging on his every word, laughing, leaning in closer. Meanwhile, I'd just been politely rejected by 3 different women that same night. What was his secret? He wasn't buying drinks, wasn't flexing about his job, wasn't even that good-looking. But every few minutes, I'd hear eruptions of laughter from his group. The women seemed genuinely excited to be around him. Then came my crushing realization. I approached one of the women after he left and asked what made him so interesting. Her response destroyed me. He was just fun. Most guys are so serious and try so hard to impress us. He made us feel good about ourselves while keeping us on our toes. That phrase, keeping us on our toes, would haunt me for months. What did that even mean? The second study revealed something that initially crushed my confidence, but then became my greatest weapon. Researchers tested both handsome men and average-looking men using humor with women. Here's what blew my mind. Handsome men got a 48% attractiveness boost when using humor effectively. Average-looking men? Only 39%. At first, this seemed unfair. The handsome guys get an even bigger advantage? But then I discovered the psychological reason behind this, and it changed everything for me. Women actually feel intimidated around handsome men. They assume these men are arrogant, out of their league, or likely to reject them harshly. So when a handsome man shows humor and receptivity, proving he's approachable and genuinely interested in her as a person, it creates massive relief and attraction. For us average guys, the opposite psychology is at play. Women don't expect much, so when we display these attractive non-physical traits, we completely exceed their expectations. We become the surprise, the hidden gem they weren't looking for but suddenly can't resist. This realization sent me down a rabbit hole of studying exactly what type of humor creates attraction versus what kills it. Most men get humor completely wrong with women. They try dad jokes, safe humor, or worse, self-deprecating comedy hoping to appear humble and non-threatening. But the studies revealed something shocking. Women are attracted to what researchers call playfully challenging humor. It's the type of humor that would actually annoy most men if used on us. Let me paint you a picture from my own transformation. I used to be the guy who'd ask a woman about her job and respond with, "Oh wow, that's really interesting. How long have you been doing that? Do you enjoy it? It's boring. It's forgettable." These kinds of dry humor lead to friendzone. But when a woman tells me she's an accountant, I might say, "Ah, that explains it. I thought you had that organized, secretly runs the world vibe going on." Or if she's a teacher, "So you're the type who likes being in charge, telling people what to do all day. I can see that." Notice the difference? I'm not being mean, but I'm also not being a generic nice guy. I'm creating what psychologists call playful tension. Here's the female psychology lesson most men never learn. Women are constantly testing men to see if they're genuinely confident or just putting on an act. When you playfully challenge a woman, you're demonstrating several attractive traits simultaneously. Confidence, you're not afraid of her reaction. Social intelligence, you can read the situation. And emotional independence, your mood doesn't depend on her approval. My personal breakthrough came when I realized that my old approach, being overly nice and agreeable, was actually failing these unconscious tests. Women would lose interest not because I wasn't good enough, but because I wasn't displaying masculine confidence. The night I finally got it was at a networking event. I met this brilliant lawyer who was clearly used to men being intimidated by her success. Instead of the usual, "Wow, you must be really smart," response, I said, "A lawyer? So you're one of those people who argues for a living. That explains why you looked so ready for a debate when I walked over." She burst out laughing and said, "Finally, someone who isn't scared of me." We talked for 2 hours. The third study took place at speed dating events, and it confirmed everything I discovered through painful trial and error. Men who used humor were rated as significantly more physically attractive, even though humor has nothing to do with physical appearance. But here's the crucial detail. The humor had to land. Men whose jokes fell flat got no boost in attractiveness. This isn't about quantity, it's about quality and calibration. The psychological principle at work is what researchers call positive association. When you make a woman feel good emotions through laughter and playful tension, her brain literally associates those positive feelings with your physical appearance. She begins to see you as more attractive because being around you feels attractive. This is why the Scrambler effect I mentioned earlier is so powerful. It's not just about humor, it's about creating a specific emotional cocktail that rewires how women perceive you. Here's where most men go wrong. They think women want to be treated exactly like male friends. They apply the golden rule, treat others as you'd want to be treated. But women aren't men. They're attracted to masculinity, and one key aspect of masculinity is the ability to create playful pressure without being mean or disrespectful. Think about it this way. Any man can be nice to a woman. Any man can agree with everything she says and try not to rock the boat. But it takes genuine confidence and social calibration to playfully challenge her while making her feel good about herself. Women crave this dynamic because it makes them feel feminine in comparison to your masculine energy. It's not about dominance, it's about polarity. The positive and negative charges that create electricity. My own dating life transformed when I stopped treating every interaction like a job interview where I had to prove my worth, and started treating them like a dance where I could lead with confidence while still being respectful and fun. Humor is just one of 124 non-physical traits that make women feel attracted. The research goes far beyond these 3 studies, encompassing decades of psychological research on human attraction. What fascinated me most was discovering that traits like assertiveness, emotional independence, and social intelligence all trigger the same response. Women literally rate men as more physically attractive when these traits are displayed authentically. This means your current rating in women's eyes isn't fixed. It's completely malleable based on how you present yourself and interact with them. The night this fully hit home for me was when a woman I'd been interested in for months suddenly started seeing me differently. I hadn't changed my appearance, my job, or anything external. I'd simply started displaying these attractive non-physical traits consistently. Her exact words were, "I don't know what's different about you lately, but you seem more attractive. Like, more confident and interesting." Same face, same body, completely different perception. The studies revealed something profound about confidence that most men misunderstand. It's not about being loud, arrogant, or domineering. True confidence, the kind that makes women rate you as more physically attractive, is about emotional independence. It's about not needing her approval to feel good about yourself. It's about being able to create playful tension without getting anxious about her reaction. It's about leading conversations and interactions without being controlling. My personal transformation wasn't about becoming someone else. It was about becoming more authentically myself while understanding female psychology. When you grasp how women actually think and what they respond to, everything changes. The most liberating moment was realizing that I didn't need to be the tallest, richest, or most handsome guy in the room. I just needed to be the most emotionally engaging. Let me give you a practical framework for applying this science. Next time you're talking to a woman you're interested in, instead of interview mode questions, try creating playful observations. Instead of, "What do you do for work?" try, "You have that, I secretly run this place," energy. "What's your story?" Instead of, "You look beautiful tonight," try, "You're trouble, aren't you? I can tell." Instead of agreeing with everything she says, playfully disagree sometimes, "Really? I would never have guessed that about you. You seem way too opposite trait for that." The key is calibration. You're not trying to insult or genuinely challenge her, you're creating that playful tension that makes interactions memorable and exciting. This isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about understanding fundamental psychological differences between men and women and adjusting your approach accordingly. When I finally mastered these principles, my entire dating experience transformed. Women started reaching out to me, relationships became effortless, and I never had to wonder if someone was interested. It became obvious. The most powerful part? This works regardless of your age, appearance, or financial situation. These studies prove that non-physical traits have the power to literally change how women perceive your physical attractiveness. Your current results with women aren't a reflection of your worth, they're a reflection of your approach. Change the approach, change the results. Remember the Scrambler effect I mentioned earlier? It's the psychological mechanism behind everything we've discussed. It's about creating the right sequence of emotions in a woman's mind that triggers deep attraction. The humor studies are just the tip of the iceberg. The complete system involves understanding how to display all 124 attractive traits in a way that feels natural and authentic to your personality. I'm going to share exactly how this works in the link I mentioned, but first, let me address the elephant in the room. Maybe you're thinking, "This sounds too good to be true," or "I could never pull this off." I had the same doubts. I was convinced I wasn't naturally charismatic enough, funny enough, or confident enough. But here's what the science proves. These aren't innate talents. They're learnable skills. The men in these studies weren't born comedians or natural Casanovas. They simply learned how to display attractive traits consistently. The biggest mindset shift for me was realizing that women want to feel attracted to you. They're not your enemy trying to reject you. They're hoping you'll be the guy who finally gets it. Every interaction is an opportunity to practice these principles. Every conversation is a chance to create that 221% boost in attraction. Throughout this video, I've shared the science, the psychology, and my personal journey from complete failure to consistent success with women. But knowledge without application is worthless. The question isn't whether this works, the studies prove it does. The question is whether you're ready to implement it. If you've made it this far in the video, you're clearly serious about transforming your dating life. You're not looking for magic pills or overnight solutions, You want real, scientifically backed strategies that create lasting change. That's exactly what I'm about to offer you. Everything I've shared today, the 221% attraction boost, the psychology of playful challenging, the Scrambler effect, it's all part of a comprehensive system I've developed called Unlock the Scrambler. With one simple move, you can stop losing women who initially liked you because you couldn't play the game. Re-enter the dating scene with confidence at any age. Pass each and every one of women's secret tests. Unlock the Scrambler is the only system that combines eliminating the nice guy behavior ingrained in so many men with the most cutting-edge discoveries of modern psychology. So you can gain the attraction of women, project personal power, and avoid the let's just be friends speech for good. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming the most attractive version of who you already are. Click the link in the description right now, and I'll show you the complete system that transformed my dating life and has worked for thousands of men just like you. Remember, your current results aren't permanent. That 221% boost in attraction is waiting for you. The only question is, are you ready to claim it? Don't let another night of rejection or another relationship slip into the friend zone happen because you didn't have these tools. Click the link below and let's make sure you never experience that devastating feeling of watching another guy succeed where you've been struggling.